this is a question that I get asked a lot, is like, hey, like, what kind of content should I be putting out? I'm in this industry, I'm in this industry or that industry. How do I come up with what kind of content I should be coming up with? And I always say, like, man, like, you got to identify your brand pillars. And so how should one approach identifying their 4 brand pillars?
Yeah, well, I'm gonna first pull up a post from Caleb Ralston. If you guys don't know who Caleb Ralston is, who here knows who Caleb Ralston is? Anybody? Alex Hermosi and Gary Vaynerchuk's old creative director. He is one of the best. He's like the king of me, I guess you could say, of my niche. And he has these 4 questions that I'm gonna copy and paste into the chat real quick. And this is like a really good like reverse engineering. It's very high level. It's very philosophical. Okay. It's not like super technical stuff, but it's going to set the groundwork of where we want to go for building brand pillars. So the questions is what do I want to have happen? Like literally like in my life, like over the next 10 years, I'm going to post content for 10 years. What do I want my life to look like? Because Rich, me and you can sit here and be like, man, I have this vision of, relaxing and being on the yacht and being able to work less. Okay, well, then one of your brand pillars should not be extreme hard work, kind of like this grind set mentality, right? Because then you're going to lose your fandom that you built whenever you start showing that you're not actually who you said you were the whole time.
So start with your end result in mind.
Yeah, exactly. Like, what is the life that you want to engineer? Because guys, content. I had a guy in my program, and he just he's been posting content for 6 weeks, and he is growing extremely fast, and his whole life has changed. He has famous actors following him. He was able to quit his job, all these different things. And he just sent me a message. He's like, dude, I never thought that any of this stuff was possible. This is insane. It's changing my life. Like, content will change your life. It's just, you have to make sure that it changes your life in the right way. What you don't want is to change it in a way that handcuffs you, golden handcuffs. You get to 100,000 followers and it's the wrong 100,000 followers, right? So I that's kind of the first stepping point. I won't go too much further if we want to kind of pause there, but I also don't want to spend a ton of time on these 4 questions because I know they're kind of philosophical. But yeah, you have to start with the end in mind.
Yeah, and real quick, with this little pause and this break here, I'm curious. You always say, hey, like the window to build your personal brand is the next 3 years, and you relate the personal brand today as the same thing as our grandparents buying real estate that was beachfront in the 30s and 40s, when you could buy beachfront real estate in Southern California for $30,000, and now those homes are worth $15 million and not attainable for the everyday person. And so why do you say that the personal brand is really just these next 3 years and closing?
Yeah, well, this comes from a guy named RPN. If you guys want to go follow him, he's really pioneered this concept. That's his Instagram handle, RPN. He talks about this thing called the infinite content era, where AI is so good that it can make content on its own. And guys, I am telling you, like I said 3 years a while ago, I think it might be faster. I have a Claude bot, and this Claude bot for me is making videos every 3 hours and posting them on trial reels. While I don't even touch it. I built a system every 3 hours is posting completely net new content. I haven't done this yet. It could theoretically clone my voice, clone my face, and I could have it do research and do endless ideation with my face every 3 hours. And I would just post 10 times a day. I'm not doing that because I'm like, I don't want to water down my brand like that, but that is where we are going. There's this person, maybe I should say thing. I think her name is Olivia Brandt. It sounds so weird even like calling her that. It's not right. There's this AI influencer.
Okay.
And she has 114,000 followers, and she averages 1 million views a video. And I think her name is Olivia Brandt. I can't find her for some reason, but she's not real. And she looks super real. And you go to the comments, but she's posting close to like 20 times a day because you don't actually have to record the content. You just set the engine. And so because there's going to be a flood of content, AI is going to be able to post 100, maybe more than that, 1,000 pieces of STR content every minute. that is going to flood the space, and then the supply and demand is going to get really, really, really broken. There it is. Yeah. Bandit. Olivia Brandit. There it is. This is a fake girl. Everyone go look at her reels. She's absolutely ripping. 3 million views, 250,000 views, 1.2 million views, going nuts. And she is not real.
This is just an AI person.
This is an AI person. This is an AI clone right here. Absolutely insane. And so again, back to the supply and demand. Whenever there's a world where someone can just press a button, voice note into an app, and it can post 1,000 times every single minute, then the quality, basically there's going to be this quality gap, and it's going to be absolutely massive. You're going to get pushed to the top if you make great content, but you are going to get absolutely crushed if you make bad content, because there's going to be this massive wall of AI content. It's going to be literally millions and millions and millions of pieces of content. So because of that, the good personal brands that can rise above the AI either get in early, or that even after, if you're still great at content, you will move up. They're going to be 10 times more valuable. 10 times more valuable. A 10,000 follower account that is real is going to be worth the equivalent of a 500,000 follower account, because there's going to be so much crap online.
Yeah, 100%.
That's my belief system.
And I also believe like long form conversations like the one that we're having right now, and podcast episodes, these conversations that are an hour long, 2 hours long, YouTube videos, the long form content, I really believe, because AI becoming more and more prevalent, we don't know what's real, what's not. These long form conversations are going to be a way that creators can really separate themselves from the noise and all the AI stuff, is by, showing that you are real, that you are genuine, you are authentic. I think it's much harder to fake an hour and a half long podcast conversation.
Yeah, 100%. And in-person events. Let's I'm going to share this Olivia girl's page just for the
yeah, pull it up, dude.
For the
do a screen.
Yeah.
She kind of looks like an OnlyFans model. Or
exactly.
Something.
That's exactly how they position. Can you guys see this fine?
Yeah.
You look at her videos, just watch this real quick.
The right one will find you in peace and lead you to even more peace. The wrong one will find you in peace and leave you in pieces. The wrong person shows up when you're stable, happy, grounded, and somehow you end up anxious, overthinking, questioning yourself.
You guys see these comments? Nobody knows that she's fake.
Damn.
All of these comments are just legit. Let's see how often she's posting. She was posting a ton. Okay, she's not posting nearly as frequently. But yeah, dude, and it just has a normal, it's kind of weird. It kind of is weird to be, it's probably some weird 45-year-old dude in his basement making these pictures, but whatever. His mom's basement. Anyways, that's just some crazy stuff. But yeah, long form, back to what you said, long form.
It's Manti Te'o's new girlfriend.
Exactly. The long form and in-person events, like you said. So next week, whenever you guys have that workshop, you're never going to go meet this person. That's the difference maker.
Crazy, dude. So anyways, back to the brand pillars, identifying what those look like. So you said, number one, start with your end result in mind. Okay. And then what are some other ways to identify these 4 brand pillars? Because one should obviously be your niche, right?
Yeah, 100%. If we can fast forward these questions, it says, what would I have to be known for? That's just kind of reverse engineering, getting to the root of it. What would I have to do? Now we're talking about inputs, the type of content you got to make, what I have to learn. Now it's okay, if I want to be known as the STR person, do I need to go learn more about STRs, that type of stuff? But yes, I think your 4 brand pillars, if you're going to make content about 4 things, you need to have your niche. But here is the problem that I think a lot of people make, is they keep it too vague. Okay. And this is where a counter position comes in. One of your brand pillars should be a more deeper dive into your niche, right? So I use Rich as a prime example of this. He could have just been oh yeah, real estate is one of my brand pillars, but he actually also goes deeper into boutique hotels, and that's really powerful. And so I'm even hearing some of you guys talk about, your pillars, and what is great, but I want us to be careful of is the classic, I hear this all the time: faith, family, fitness, finances. Those are 4 not very good brand pillars, because they're not specific enough. And I'm not trying to downgrade or talk poorly on that. They just need to be more specific, right? And so that's my challenge to you guys. But the first one should for sure be your niche. This should be the North Star, but you should also have a layer that's a lot more specific underneath it. That is your counter position.
Okay. So give us an example of 4 really good brand pillars.
Yeah, I think so.
Like instead of faith, fitness, family, finance, what would be an example that's under those that would be much better?
Yeah, let's do like a hybrid. Okay, so let's say our niche is Boris and Amanda's assisted living. Assisted living is a phenomenal niche because they could have kept it way more vague, but they're still into a great niche, right? In the uniqueness and specificity of it.
Okay.
I think that makes sense. Then let's pull Josh, how many kids do you guys have again? Joshua, you guys I know you guys have like 4 kids, right?
Yeah, they got like 16.
6? Yeah. Are they all girls?
3 boys, 1 girl.
3 girls. Okay, for some reason they're all girls. But like that's like a big family. That's like different than just like family. It's like large family, or like girl dad. If you're a girl dad, like lean on some of that stuff. Like a little bit more specific into a pillar. And then if people want to go mindset, I'm all for mindset, but what is unique in your mindset? Right? Like is there anything unique in your belief system about how you think mindset is important? Like don't go compete with Tony Robbins and just be like, oh, I'm just gonna talk about mindset all the time. Maybe, for example, Blake Rocha, he's been on the pod. He just dropped a YouTube video specifically about how he's woken up at 4 a.m. for like 1,628 days in a row. That's a brand pillar. The mindset there is like the 4 a.m. club. Like that's a brand pillar in my opinion. That's like way better than just mindset. Okay. So like if we were making this fake person, this person would be the assisted living, 4 a.m. club, girl dad, and then maybe they have a specific religion that they hold to, or they have a specific hobby that they really love. Maybe they love golf, and so they talk about golf or something. That is way more of a all-encompassing, in my opinion, 4 brand pillars. But it's also your adventure, it's your journey. I'm like not gonna. It's up to you as well.
Yeah. Okay, that's really good. Anything to add there with the brand pillars before we move on?
I'd be curious what you think on that, because I know like what's tough about this is at some point you transcend and you become big enough where you can actually start competing with the big dogs and you can talk about more vague things. Like sense for Rich to be able to go talk about more general mindset. He doesn't have to only be 4 a.m. club because he already has an established personal brand. And so, Rich, I feel like you might even have some insight on like what you can talk about whenever you already have the 400,000 followers or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say that when I was starting out and building my brand, and by the way, I started off with 4,000 followers when I started posting. It was May of 2022, and I actually went backwards. I lost followers for the first 2 months because friends, family members, coworkers, people that knew you from this like different season of your life. They don't want to hear the real estate investing, or they don't want to hear the assisted living or the fitness content or whatever it is that you're talking about in your niche. And so I think it's I lost. I mean, I definitely lost followers for the first 2 months, and I think that the early stage of repositioning and building the brand is the hardest when you're first starting out. Now, when I started, I would say my first, maybe my first 50, 60,000 followers, I was primarily just talking about real estate investing, to be honest with you. I wasn't even thinking about brand pillars. I was really just focused on talking about real estate investing. And then as I grew, I started to go a little bit more wide. And if you look at my podcast, this is my second podcast. My first one was the multifamily takeoff, and did about 150 episodes with that one before I split up with my old partners. And I said, hey, you guys keep the podcast. I'm gonna start my own. And I took everything I liked and didn't like about that one. I made it into this. But even with that first podcast, it was all real estate investing, multifamily investing, apartment investing. And I didn't really start going wide until a couple hundred podcast episodes in. And I hit at least 100,000 followers on Instagram. Now, that wasn't by design. It sounds like cool in theory, but that's just kind of how I did it early on. And then I started to go wide as I started to expand my knowledge and bring on different guests of different walks of life through the podcast. And then that's what kind of like propelled me to go a little bit wider.
That is exactly what most creator journeys look like. It's not necessarily prescriptive. In fact, last week I analyzed Alex Hormozi's first 1,000 videos. This was between 2018 to 2022. Okay. And this is the ratio of videos. His first 50 in 2018, 86% of them were strictly fitness and gym business content. Okay. How to reduce churn on a gym membership, how to do cold calling to a person who just canceled their membership, all very technical stuff. Videos 100 to 100 were still 50, 60, 70% gym and fitness specific. At post 201, he expanded into general business and motivation. Post 201 exactly. And post 201 was his book launch, $100 million offers. And then after that, he increased his volume. He 3x'd his volume, started posting 3 times as much. And this was 4 years later. This was the difference between 2018 to 2022. Right. And so I think a lot of us really can look up to these people like the Hormozis, like the Rich Summers that are already 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 posts into it. Be like, oh, I got to talk about what they're talking about. Well, for some of those people, they've earned the right to talk about motivational content, general business content, some of that stuff, right? Even if you guys are more established and more credible than Rich, it actually doesn't necessarily matter online. You have to like re-earn it in a way. That's like the hard part, is like it doesn't actually matter if you're a billionaire even. Well, a billionaire, you can maybe throw that on the screen and get some views, but yeah.
What are your thoughts on like early on if you're growing a following from the beginning, and let's just say you're 5,000 followers and this first viral video is actually something that's on a random topic that doesn't even pertain to your brand pillars, and maybe it's about traveling to Fiji, right? Is that and then all of a sudden you get 10,000 new followers that are into traveling to Fiji. Do you think that almost sets you back big time?
Yeah, I think so. If there's not a through line to like what you want to make content about forever, then it sets you back. I have 2 examples to this. Well, probably 3 actually. I think Mikey Taylor, great example of this. He built hundreds of thousands of followers in the skateboarding niche. Took him, I think you said years to recorrect his algorithm.
4 years of just grinding.
Crazy. Here's example number 2. My very first client ever. It was probably over a year ago. He was teaching people sales. If you guys know TJR, who's a phenomenon right now on social media, he's his sales leader. He was making sales content, growing his platform. He taught people, made a random video on how to make the perfect medium rare steak. Okay. It got 1.7 million views. Every single video after that, people were in the comments like, we don't care about sales. Where's the medium rare steak? Where's the medium rare steak? He had to restart his account, because this is the concept here. This is the psychology here. Those people follow you, and then the videos get sent to your followers. Okay. And then if your followers do not engage with it because they came from medium rare steaks and you're teaching them how to close a phone call, they won't watch it. And then it signals to the algorithm this is a bad video, and it doesn't get pushed beyond the followers. So I think it's dangerous. I had a video going super viral. I had a mentor of mine pass away at a really young age, probably in like October. And it was becoming my most viral video of all time. I deleted it because I was on its way up, because I didn't want people to be following me for the wrong reasons, not content. It was one of my only videos not about content or business that was going viral. So I think it's tough, but I also think we get addicted to the dopamine sometimes, and it feels so good. And I'm very empathetic to that. I get it. I've been there. And so, but it is just a balance. Like, which game do you want to play? Do you want to play for the likes and the views, or do you want to play for the revenue and the actual personal brand?
That's really good. What's your thoughts on like going like should you, obviously narrow is better in the beginning, but like obviously like your TAM is very important, right? And creating content that is going to be relatable to a larger percentage of people. For example, like with me, we talk boutique hotel investing is my niche, but if I did a video on how to raise private capital for a boutique hotel, less than 1% of my audience would even find that video relatable. And so, I know for me, I can't just talk about boutique hotels, otherwise I'll never grow. And so what are your thoughts on like when you are starting out, like how do you approach the TAM versus like going too wide and risking what we just talked about?
Yeah, it is a balance. And like, honestly, like the nuance here is you can take everything that we just said and you can overcorrect and never do any like higher TAM content. That's not what I want to communicate. I feel like I have to hammer the niche point more because people have a disposition already to go higher TAM. But the reality is I still want, and I still coach people to do a smaller amount, but you need to go higher TAM. TAM, by the way, means total addressable market. It basically means like how many people in the whole world are interested in this, even if they don't watch it, like, or it never reaches them. Did we at least make something for a market that's big enough?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So my thoughts on this are, as long as it's on the through line. So there's principles here. Principle number one, as long as it's on the through line. So like, here's the through line of boutique hotels. Boutique hotels, real estate, actually probably rentals, and then real estate, and then investing, and then general wealth. As long as like you stay on that line, I'm more okay with it. What I don't want is like you to just be like boutique hotels, real estate, general wealth, and then medium rare stakes. Like that's where you start to attract it's like fishing, right? If I'm trying to catch a tuna, all right, bear with me, I've never deep sea fished. I don't even know if you catch tunas in nets.
Yeah, deep sea.
Okay. If I throw in a net and I'm going to catch a bunch of fish, I'm at least hoping that like one of them is a tuna. Right? Does that work?
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, but what I don't want to do is be like, oh, I'm hoping I catch a catfish and then I throw it out in the ocean. There's no catfish in the ocean. That's like a complete miss. That's the medium rare steak, is I'm throwing my net in a place that what I'm actually looking for is not even there. So that's my belief system on that. I do think though, and this is where I'm going to go back and re-caveat, I do think you have a competitive advantage early, probably from 0 to 10,000 followers, staying more niched. And I said, I use this example a lot. What did Amazon start with? Does anybody know? What was the very first Amazon? Boris, what do you got? Or somebody just say, I don't care.
It was books.
Books. Okay, perfect.
That's right. It was books.
What did PayPal start with?
Elon Musk.
What market? What market? It did start with Elon Musk. That's true. What market did only PayPal start in? eBay. Boom. PayPal only went to eBay. You couldn't use PayPal anywhere else. That was their market. It was so tiny. In fact, Peter Thiel, we'll keep the political beliefs on Peter Thiel out of it, but he says most founders would benefit by picking a market so small that everyone else overlooked it and forgot about it. And I believe the same is true for most creators. Right? I saw a guy today that has 100,000 followers doing only a dance called the percolator. It's every single video is just how to do the percolator better. I don't even know what the percolator is. It's some dance where you like punch up and down. I saw a guy with 26,000 followers. No, I'm not going to demonstrate the percolator.
Give us a little example though.
Of the percolator, I think he was like, it's like punching. He kind of goes like something like that. Stop it. You guys are making it look stupid.
I love it.
I saw a guy that has 26,000 followers strictly on how to rehab pickleball injuries. That's it. Every single piece of content is like how to stretch for a pickleball match, what to do if you tear your ACL playing pickleball, best shoes to make sure you don't get hurt playing pickleball. Right. So anyways, I could rant on that all day, but I do think probably twice a week, you should expand the TAM and go try to reach more higher level, especially in your first 10,000 followers. Only 2 to 3 times a week, maybe one to 2 times a week. Expand the TAM, go general wealth, general mindset, general high TAM.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to switch gears here just for a sec. I want to do a screen share and show our media scorecard. Just because, I think, obviously like anything in business, we track numbers and weekly KPIs. Fitness, it's important to track your numbers. And so, same thing here with the media, very important to track your numbers weekly and monthly. And, I think that the game of business, the game of a lot of stuff in life is really just coming down to the numbers. It's like identifying what's working, identifying what's not working. And it's like, how do we double down on the things that are working and how do we do less of the things that are not working? that's pretty much business, right? And growth, and like every niche of life really works that way. And so same thing with the media. But can you guys all see the screen? Okay, dope. So this is our media scorecard, and we meet every single Monday. We allocate 30 minutes, but a lot of times these meetings can only take 10 or 15 minutes. But we'll go down. This is the weekly scorecard, so you can see here we typically at the top it's like total number of views across the different channels, total new followers and subs across the different channels, number of pieces of content that we're split testing, and then reviews for the podcast. And then we break down like Instagram, we break down Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, everything for number of shares, net new followers, all that sort of stuff. And then we get into a content calendar. And this is something new that we've just implemented regarding this year. And we're trying to get this up and running and kind of like caught up. But Briar, break down this content calendar and what we're looking at here.
Yeah, I think like a good rule of thumb is that an organized creator is a dangerous creator, because it's helping you not start from zero. If every time you want to make a piece of content, you're starting from scratch. What am I going to make the video about today? Where's my idea going to come from? Who's going to edit it? When is it going to get posted? The bar to entry kind of gets overwhelming, right? And so having a reverse engineered calendar based off of your specific goals. So like, your posts and your static images are going to be way different than Rich's, but it gives you an opportunity to start not from zero, but at least on one, and get some momentum going where you can come to the camera, come to the desk, whatever it is, and feel ready to go. And then we build systems on the back of this. Like that's what we're building right now. And I think that's what a lot of people fail to do is like, hey, how do we build some really strong systems to help us get this reverse engineered calendar done, right? I think it's extremely important. So like, let's say for example, you do podcast clips. Okay, well, do you have an on-screen text prompt that your editor can toss into Claude and go get an on-screen text so that you don't have to always on-screen text prompt it, and you don't always have to be there? Like remove yourself from the bottleneck. Like that's what we're trying to do right now too, is like, what are the bottlenecks on this journey? How do we remove it? So that's kind of what you're looking at here. A little bit of this might be very personalized to Rich, but the general concept is reverse engineering from goals and from a strategy down and building systems so you're not starting from zero.
Yeah. And then if you guys have a podcast, so then we have podcast tabs. So here we'll put in, the episodes, the guests, the titles, the thumbnail on YouTube. And then there's different, promos. What are the call to actions, etc. And then you might have the issues. We'll go over issues. And that's like anything that we might have an issue with, the editors, etc. And then any sort of to-dos. But, I just want to share that real quick because I think, for you guys, putting out content, and it doesn't need to look as elaborate as that, but I think just tracking the numbers, everything from views, new follows, the shares from the different channels and stuff like that, and having a KPI for like, hey, how many times, what's the frequency of like, how often do you guys want to post across the different channels? This is good because it's a form of accountability, and it's a great way for you to see what's working and what's not working. It's like, hey, our views are way up this past 7 days. Like, what are we doing in the last 7 days that we can replicate and do more of? Or maybe our views are way down in the last 7 days. It's like, okay, like let's stop doing what we've been doing, and let's go back to what was working previously. And so I just want to highlight that for you guys. So Briar, obviously we talk about formats being very, very important, and counter positioning being very important. What is a couple other things you think that those of us on this call today can really implement into our personal branding that is relatively quick and easy, that can give us a nice lift?
Yeah, I think mixing up a format is the easiest low lift thing you can do today to start standing out. And what is a format? A format is just the visual style that a video comes across the screen. So let me just show a quick little example of some formats here, just so like we're using the right language. Go ahead and share. Okay, so just like really simple, like this is
so
just
today we have
a presentation, Okay, that's like what that format means. This is a top-down piece of paper. This is a prank call, like a call format with a vibe board where he writes some stuff down. Courtney Johnson pod coming out today.
Whether you realize
green screen, right? Like this is Courtney doing the green screen with a notes app. Like this is what a format is. Like I don't want us to get caught up. It's just a visual showing of a concept rather than just you sitting at a desk with fancy edits that zoom in, zoom out, text that pop up. You got and the VFX going all over the place. Sometimes it's just as simple as just adding a green screen. And I think a green screen, guys, like if I had to say like what is the easiest lift of all time, it's this video that Courtney did. It is a notes app that she prepped and it has the on-screen text. This is not fancy. You can do this in the TikTok app. It is one button. It is one button.
Whether you realize it or not, your boss has you placed in one of 3 buckets. You're either in the does just enough bucket, solid contributor, or you're an all-star. As we're coming to the end of the year, your boss is going to be thinking about raises. They're going to be thinking about promotion.
It's that simple. This is the easiest thing. There's zero editing that goes to it. It is equally as easy, but this is way more natural to short form and Instagram and TikTok than you sitting like, I'm trying to think of someone who, actually, I don't want to necessarily show a bad example and talk poorly about a creator. But there are a lot of like creators that will just sit at the desk, talking head, really hard scripted, and a lot of flashy edits. That is for sure out. That is for sure out. This is the more natural, native tone and language of content, something that's simple. So that's like my 80-20 rule lift. Like if you wanted to immediately double, triple your views in the next 24 hours, it is just take the video that you're exactly going to make, get a notes app, and just green screen over it. I truly think. And that the principle there is it's a low lift, but unique format.
Yeah, that's really good. So let's just say that we all have an iPhone, right? We want to just maybe I want to after our call tonight, I want to take the iPhone out and I just want to go shoot something right to my camera, talking head, just grab my iPhone and shoot a quick little video that has a possibility to really perform. What would be the best way to come up with some ideas that could really perform? Maybe it's current events, maybe it's within our niche today. I know you have some really good tricks on how to come up with the best ideas.
Oh yeah.
Drop some game on the best way for any of us on this call today to come up with really good ideas that could perform.
Yeah, here's the absolute easiest. I'll give you a live demonstration. Okay, we're gonna need 2 softwares. Software number 1 is called Reddit. Software number 2 is any AI there is. Someone give me Ryan, you're lineman. Is Ryan still on the call?
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you got
what we're gonna do is we're gonna look up lineman.
By the way, for those of you that don't know, Ryan Lucas, probably the only person I know that's built a podcast and successfully sold and had an exit with the podcast. And so that's Ryan Lucas built
multiple
a podcast
6-figure exit.
6-figure exit.
What?
Yeah.
That's crazy. I've
In
heard
the power
And
line
and they still pay me to host the show very well.
Damn. That is badass, dude. You got a hell of a podcast voice, by the way, man.
Thank you.
Yeah. And
so
Ryan's
cool.
a big car guy too.
Yeah,
we want to see more. We want to see more car content, bro.
All right.
The exotic car stuff gets a lot of views, dude.
I know.
All right, so let's use Ryan's niche for example. All I did is I went to r/lineman. Okay, this is like find a couple subreddits in your niche. I sorted by top in this year, and we're just gonna find one that has like a decent amount of comments. Okay, right here. Holy cow.
Whoa.
That was scary. Let's just this is what we'll do. We are going to, I don't want to watch that again, actually. This is what we do.
But Ryan could do a green screen with that video.
He could. That, and it would go viral. It would go insanely viral. And here's what we could do. That's a great example. Green screen over this, react over it. But all we're going to do is, what's going on here?
Ryan, would you be open to doing this tonight just to test it?
Sure.
Or tomorrow?
Yeah.
There we
Let's
go.
see it.
There we go.
For some reason, this is spazzing on me a little bit. But what you want to do then is you open up all of the replies, and all we're going to do is just copy and paste this whole entire chat. We're going to open up some more comments, keep scrolling down. And what this is going to do, it's going to tell us what people are having a conversation about. And what drives a good video? Conversation. It's one of the tools. So we're just going to copy that in there. We're going to go to Claude. Are you guys seeing the transition? No, you're not. We're going to go to Claude, and we're going to say, here are a bunch of comments from a video where a guy was a lineman, was working on a traffic light, and a truck hit his, what was he in?
He's in a bucket truck.
A bucket truck hit his bucket. I was going to guess bucket, so that's actually.
How could you guess?
Yeah, I don't know. Now we're going to ask it two simple questions. What are the two sides that these people in the comments are taking? Because that's going to force us to understand what people are going to be arguing about in the comments. They're probably going to take the lineman side. If I had to guess, take the lineman side, take the trucker side. Like, that guy's stupid, shouldn't do it for place. And then we're going to say, what is the sentiment of each side? That's just going to give us a little more intel. Then we just copy and paste this all in there. Now let's just see. We probably, if I had to guess, this is a viral video. Maybe not like viral, but like 10x, like whatever Ryan's average short form is. Right there it is. The worker's fault. The truck driver shares the blame. So like, if Ryan, as you look at that, do you have an initial gut reaction of which side you belong on?
Yeah. Yeah, that lineman shouldn't have been there.
Okay.
It's
So,
like 100% his fault.
perfect. It sounds like 70% of people definitely agree with you. Those are probably the people who understand the actual industry and stuff like that. If you could position it as not like, if you could hide your take for like 30 seconds into the video and create some tension for the first 30 seconds, like, listen, I see two people. Who's to blame here? You know, person number one, here's the pros and cons. Person number two, here's the pros and cons. Blah, 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 blah. Like, here, raise the tension. Here's the circumstances. Like, reality is this guy's okay, but it could have been way worse. Here's my stance. This is 100% the lineman's fault. Here's why. You have people rush into the comments. It would go absolutely nuts.
Got you.
That is the easiest way to start from not zero, start from one, have a video that is automatically going to go well. That's a cherry on top because it came with a video and we can apply the green screen to it. I think that would just go absolutely nuts. So that's just one. Without getting overwhelming and doing my whole elaborate thing, this is the easiest one to do.
Drop that prompt in the chat.
Yep.
Briar, could you also take this, all these comments, right? So we know people are arguing about whose fault it is and who's to blame. Could you also just like do this video was what, 7 seconds ish? Could you also just run a 7-second video and even have just a sticker that's like, hey, like, who's to blame? Was it the worker or the truck driver? And then you just do like a quick 7 or 8 second take on it.
Yeah, I'm totally fine with that. I think you just want to make sure that if you talk more than the reaction video, because people, you don't want to become a reaction page because that's not a personal brand. You want a personal brand that establishes authority, gives opinions, creates fandom, followers, etc. So as long as like you're still the hero of the video, whenever I say that, like you're the one that's still like talking more than the reaction. I see a lot of people, it's just like it's just showing themselves watching the video and then they just like look at the camera and go, right. And I'm like, okay, that did nothing for your personal brand. I know nothing about you. So that'd be my only hiccup with that. I'm totally fine with you playing it for 7 seconds and then giving your take. I'm cool with that. But also
it won't translate to as many followers, maybe. Yeah,
as long as you give a really strong stance and a belief system about it, that's all I care about.
Now, if you were to like, that could work. Let's just say that you did the 30-second or 40-second take on this. It could. What are your thoughts on having a sticker like that just like floats at the top? That's kind of like a clickbaity.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Be like whose fault is it? Like, let me know in the comments. That's a great idea. Yeah. I think just anytime you can open a loop with a sticker like that, the on-screen text, great idea. Great idea. What I would not say is this is the lineman's fault. That would be a bad sticker because that closes the loop, the curiosity loop in people's mind before the video has even started. Right. So that's just my one piece of advice whenever it comes to a sticker like that.
Yeah, that's really good. So again, so Reddit, type in any niche that you're in or wanting to like do a video on, and then take all the comments on a video that has already gone viral, pop it into Claude or ChatGPT and say, hey, what's the sentiment here? What are the most of the comments arguing about?
Yep, exactly. And make sure you force it to choose two sides. Like ChatGPT or Claude will parse the comments into two sides. And then you just know basically what the conversation is going to be about in the comments, and you can kind of craft your narrative around knowing that.
That's really good. That's really good.